kinky one. Weirdest place you've ever had sex, and did you get in trouble because of it? My husband and I went to high school together in a busy downtown area, and one day after school we went exploring. We found an entire abandoned floor of an office building and decided hang out there for a while. I was uncomfortable in the vast empty space of the main floor area, so we moved to the small elevator lobby and began fooling around. When we finished I got dressed, but my husband, then boyfriend, took his time. Just after he got his underwear on, the elevator doors opened and a realtor with 2 clients came out. She freaked, screamed for us to get dressed and leave, all the while explaining to her 2 clients that this wasn't ordinary and assuring them that the building was well secured. I couldn't stop laughing as my husband frantically put all of his clothes back on as this lady was screaming at us with her 2 clients standing there, watching and looking amused. We fled. We got about a block away when my husband realized that he had left his brand new camera up in the elevator lobby. He actually went back and asked if he could look for it. They let him, but not without much scolding and embarrassment. It turned out that I had his camera in my bag. 6 years later, and they still haven't rented that floor. I use too many commas. In the back of a Humvee during field ops in basic training, we got caught in a flash flood, making it too muddy to sleep in our little tents, so they moved us into our Humvees for the night, and luckily I had already hooked up with one of the girls in my platoon. She just happened to end up in the back with one of my buddies, who was kind enough to trade me places. That was probably the dirtiest sex I've ever had. Dirty as in we'd been bathing with baby wipes for 2 days and just spent the entire day and half the night driving, walking and lying in mud. Dirty. Macho props to my 2 buddies in the front seats for not ruining it for me. Drew can edit other fun details. She was wearing almost full battle gear. You think a bra strap is hard to unhook? Our big bull dyke drill sergeant was on constant patrol. We almost got caught twice, but luckily the windows were too steamed up to see anything. We almost did the deed beforehand in her tent, when all of a sudden we got the alert to go to our Humvees. I never thought I'd look back fondly at basic training. It was hell. East Village in Manhattan. In a car, apparently under a security camera, 2 of the coolest cops in the world came knocking on the tinted windows with a flashlight. They specifically said, "You are lucky we are cops and not police officers. We don't care, but she deserves a warm bed, not the backseat of your car. And the people that live in these multi-million-dollar Manhattan homes do not want to look out of their window and see you having sex. Move along." Apostrophe. So yeah, it could have been a lot worse. I was working at Kodak then, and the first time I saw her, I thought, she looks like that beautiful blonde they stand up on life-sized cardboard signs outside the stores. She was the group secretary, so we saw each other every day, and it soon became apparent that IQ 80. She was so stupid. She thought programmers were important, successful, desirable prospects. She took me aside and said, "I like you." I replied, "I like you too." She responded, "Like me as much as you can right now." So we went into the server room, put a chair under the doorknob, and had each other there on the floor, on listings. My GF and I don't have any our own place, so we have to improvise every time we need to do it. In the woods. In my work parking lot after work, she came to pick me up, and we almost got caught by my boss. We both go to the same university, so we have decided to do it on every floor of the library. 1 to 10. So far we've done it on 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 3. At the Raptors game on the nosebleeds. On the train. Study rooms at public library. Handicap washroom at a mall. Edit. I feel like a homeless guy reading my own response. On the future site of a church. The minister building the church lived right across the street. He called the police and they called our parents. It was bad. In the dressing room of a high-end adult toy/clothing store in Miami Beach. She was trying on a tiny leather miniskirt and had no panties on. I went to town. Oh. Also, on the roof of this super rich guy's house who was throwing some stupid ducking theme party, there was a spiral staircase providing external access to the roof, and people would go up and hang out. When everyone had just kind of moseyed back on down, I leaned her against the wall of this shed type thing built onto the top of the roof and again went to town. Oh. Also, in the water of a public family beach, there were little children with water wings like 10 feet away from us. I slowly and discreetly went to town. Oh. Also, on the top floor of a parking garage after a night out of drinking and dancing. She was bent over the railing overlooking downtown lit up in the middle of the night. It was beautiful. And I went to town. My girlfriend is awesome. Oh. Also, my ex-girlfriend gave me head in the stacks late at night in our campus library on a floor where no one ever went and in a section no one ever went. This is my favorite thread I've ever seen on Reddit. On the pavement in a quiet suburban neighborhood at around 11 PM on a Tuesday. No trouble at all, except some guy walking his dog across the road thought for a second that she was giving me CPR or something and called across, "Are you okay?" A few places. Arthur's Seat in Edinburgh. On a fallen tree in Yosemite National Park. The bathroom down the hall in my office building. On the side of HWI's 99 and 132 in California. On the side of I-20 in Atlanta. Gold's Gym in Birmingham. A hall closet at his parents' house. A storage shed at Orange Beach. A boat. Both docked and in the bay. In the car. Both parked and driving. Packaging room of a slaughterhouse in West Virginia. Cox Communication Conference Room in Kansas City. A model home. Sleeping bag. No tent. At Possum Kingdom in Texas. An elevator. It was stuck for a couple of hours. In Prague. I feel like there is more. But I'm racking my brain and can't think of anything else at the moment. The roof of an elementary school. On a Sunday afternoon. When there were kids playing Little League below. We were in high school at the time. Years later. While visiting the house of a new friend for the first time. I discovered that you can see the roof of said school from the window over the sink in his kitchen. I've got a few. Though none are that spectacular. In my friend's then unfinished house in what would have eventually become his parents' bathroom. In the utility room of a theater. During intermission of a show I was working tech for. With the lead actress. When we stopped we noticed that we were surrounded by a bunch of dead roaches. But it was still some of the hottest sex I've had. In her living room on the couch with her older brother asleep on the couch on the other side of the room. The only time I got caught was when it got so heated that we pulled into the driveway of someone's beach house. Only to have the 5 cars of people that were staying there show up about 3 minutes into it. That was embarrassing. Edit formatting. On a tennis court. At about midnight. Paid $75 so the lights would come on. In the front seat of my Honda. On the interstate. While I was driving 90 miles per hour. In the back room of a video rental store. During business hours. On a screened-in front porch about 12 feet from the street at about 1 AM. On the beach in Sankey at about 2 AM. Now, the weirdest one I've ever seen was at a house party. With about 200 people on the premises. In the living room, where the kegs were. In a house full of people. On the couch. Completely naked as if no one were watching. Lots of people, however, were watching. On the rocky shore of an island in the middle of Long Island Sound in broad daylight. The passing boats seemed to think we were hilarious. But the gulls nesting there were less than amused. Or, the prop stepped of my college in back of the one of the theaters. Foreplay was basically trying to find whatever objects/pieces of costumes we could to make things more fun. Come to think of it, we probably should have washed them after we finished. Catholic Church confessional booth. I must say it was pretty hot for her to be calling me God. In a church. There's something sexy about blasphemy. And no, there was not a priest on the other side. Also, the mall bathroom. While driving on the highway. Caution, dangerous. On the floor next to another couple going at it. I miss having a GF. Open bracket. Underneath train tracks. We were walking in a wooded area in the suburbs of a city. There was a small lake with a small train bridge over it. We crawled under one of the sides of the bridge and did it. The train thundered over right as we both climaxed. Seriously, you've never really had an orgasm until you do it with a train flying by just a few feet above you. It was the best sex ever. In a bedroom. While the neighbors looked through the window and cheered. We did not know they were watching. Despite being underage. We did not get into trouble. I have a few weird ones. Bathroom of an aquarium. I think it was the fish smell that set me off. And in a house that was under construction. Dug out for the Little League baseball field. I actually forgot about this completely until now. Didn't get in trouble, but it was late fall and cold as hell. Every elevator in town. 3 or 4. Can't remember. 3 lawns at local parks. Roadside countless times. Caught by cops at least 3 times. Roadhead a few times. Until a semi-driver, who could see down into the cab of the truck, caught us at a red light. Little sister's bunk bed. Parents' bed. Pretty much every bed in the house and her parents' house. Every pool we had access to. Used to race home from church. Beat my family home. And then get into the pool and get started. Then we could watch the windows, and if anyone started to look or come out, we acted innocent. Only caught by cops and best friends. Also, a couple times in bathrooms at parties. Once we were both drunk and having sex. She started to puke. So we moved to the toilet and I did her doggy style while she puked. She is the one who requested I keep going. Still feel like that might have been wrong. Lol. Farley's dressing room. We got caught. Yelled at by security. Then escorted out because our parents lived too far away to come pick us up. We were both minors. I asked the security guard if I could have a copy of the video. He claimed they didn't have one. I haven't been in a Farley's in 6 years, though I don't know if they exist anymore. Elevator of the chemical building at UC Davis. The stop button doesn't set of an alarm, so we could take our time. Or behind a building at my HS at night between shows by my band. Or at home in my bathroom while my mom was in the next room. Up against a wall in a rented storage facility with the door not quite closed as a family with children was on the other side of the door messing around with their storage unit. At the foot of the bed of my then GF's stepfather. In a sleeping bag next to then GF's sister. Both stepfather and sister were asleep, I hope. In the cargo area of a Ford Aerostar in a beach parking lot with the family all crowded around their car right next to us. They weren't there when we got started. And I had to keep things going just enough to stay hard. But not enough to make noise / move the van. Standing in a river. People all around us. Standing in a lake. People on the shore. In so many bathrooms with wife that we've got a bit of a reputation. Best for last. Missionary position. In the dark. For the purpose of procreation. Never got in trouble for any of them. Kinda half broke a toilet once. But no big deal. Every year we have a summer event called the Celebration of Light. It's the biggest offshore fireworks even in North America. Well, the first year I went I was supremely high on acid. I had already peaked and was on my way down. So I had a nice mellow feeling and was in complete control. My girlfriend and I were making out on the beach in front of over 100,000 people. It escalated into full-on sex with my girlfriend on top and the fireworks going off behind her. The most amazing experience of my life. Some people were cheering us on while others were disgusted and encouraged us to get a room. I was 14. Movie theater. It was completely empty. On like a Wednesday. And a shoddy Julia Roberts movie. The sex was amazing. We sometimes try to see terrible movies on the off days trying to be lucky again. But it hasn't happened yet. At the Cleveland Zoo behind some bushes at night. I was shooting some video for them with my girlfriend from the time, and I had them dress so that it appeared she worked for the same group as me. We split apart from the group we were taping after she whispered in my ear her raunchy ideas. We went at it like jackrabbits. Edit. I didn't videotape the scene BTW. I was sketched out someone might find the DV tape. I once did it in a deserted parking lot on the ground. We didn't get caught. But I was on my back while she was on top and all I can remember is being stabbed by small rocks while we did it. It was kind of painful. I was also quite intoxicated at the time. On the BART train from SF to Berkeley. On the Maximum from Beaverton to Portland. On a rap hotshot. Sided in slow train yard. Middle of Burnside Scatter Park. Behind the beer truck at a wedding. I could probably think of more. I lived outdoors for some time. Passenger seat of my car. Parked on a mountain road which seemed to be getting way more traffic than normal. People driving by. Construction crews honking. It became a little ridiculous. Nobody called the cops thankfully. 7 bathrooms thus far. I'd say the weirdest place would probably be in the girls' bathroom of some golf course or in the girls' bathroom in one of Northeastern University's dorms. More specifically the shower, which was tiled. My ponies. On a lava field. Was on my honeymoon, and we had camped on all the large Hawaiian islands, with the last stop being Volcanoes National Park on the Big Island. 3-hour hike along the coast from where the road ends to the edge of the lava tube, towards sunset. After an hour there and only seeing lava breakouts in the distance, got a bit bored and bent the wife over. At the moment I was done, and I mean the moment, heard a crackling 15 feet away as lava started pouring out of a mound. Both shocked for a few seconds as gallons of lava started pulling. We then grabbed our day packs which were only 5 feet from the lava, all while our pants were around our ankles. Had really wanted to video a lava breakout up close, so was pissed that I missed it, but got some footage later, and a better story. Needless to say the wife was pissed for me suggesting it. Scared the crap out of both of us though. I have a few that come to mind. My high school superintendent's bed while his dog was trying to lick my ass. The play floor of a daycare center atop 3,000 foot long, 60 foot high railroad viaduct. Standing in the snow with her leaning against a closed gate. Probably some other ones. Times were strange with that chick. At the bar at a dark and busy club. I was sitting on a bar stool and my girlfriend at the time was wearing a short skirt. She pulled her G-string aside, unzipped me and sat on my lap. Tons of people around us dancing and gyrating. Loud music. The most fun I've had at one of those places. The bartender did not seem too surprised. Please click subscribe if you enjoyed this video.